Hey everybody, Justin here. Welcome back to the shop. Today I want to go into a little bit of detail on some things that you should not do when you're dealing with your gunsmith. So I got a list of the top 10 things that came to mind this morning. Figured I'd talk about them a little bit. Please do not do these things, okay? These are some of the things that will annoy your gunsmith a lot, to the point where they may not want to work with you anymore. First thing that annoys your gunsmith: trying to negotiate on the price. Okay, this happens a lot. I have pricing rules that I go by, that I designed based on how much time is put into certain things. Anything that falls outside of that is generally charged by the hour at my hourly rate. Don't go into your gunsmith and try to negotiate what it's going to cost you after he's finished the work, or even before he's finished the work. If you bring him a whole lot of the same thing to do at one time, yeah, he might cut you a little break on it. That's what I do here. Don't tell your gunsmith that you want to try and work out a deal or something like that. Probably about the only deal you're going to be able to work out with him is if you have a gun that he would really like. But he's only going to want to buy it for something that he can make money on. So, the second thing that will annoy your gunsmith: explaining to him how your buddy or your acquaintance or the guy down the street can do it cheaper. If that guy's anything like me, he's going to look at you and be like, well, you better go see him. Don't haggle with us. Don't try to price match with us. We know what our services are valued at. If the guy down the road doesn't value his time as much as we value ours, fine, whatever. 99 times out of 100, that guy's not offering the quality that we are, okay? And I'm saying that from first-hand experience. Most of my customers came from that guy. Number 3 thing that annoys your gunsmith: if you need a part for your firearm and you know what it is, and you know that you're relatively confident in your skills to replace it yourself, maybe the guy will be interested in ordering it for you if you can't find one. We have our sources that we don't disclose to the general public because, number one, we don't like people bringing their own parts in, and number two, it's nice to have that little bit of, markup on the parts whenever we're not making anything on the labor. Never ask your gunsmith to order a part if you're not leaving him some collateral, okay? Every time that ever happens to me, I've had people, they're under the impression they know exactly what they want. They ask me, hey, can you order a firing pin for this blah, blah, blah? Be like, yeah, there's one available. Here's the price. Well, order it for me and then call me when it comes in. Come down to my shop and pay me for it, or drop the gun off. Well, no, just order it and I'll pay you when you get it. I want to make sure it's right. No. I'm not going to sit on a part that I can't use because you never showed up to pay for it, okay? Parts do not get ordered in my shop unless either A, you pay for them, or B, I have your gun. Because if I have your gun and you never pick up your gun, fine, whatever. I've got the collateral of whatever the gun's worth. But no, nothing goes in my shop that I'm going to take a loss on like that. So, number 4, and maybe not every gunsmith is like this, but I'm going to tell you how it goes in my shop. The number 4 thing you should not do to your gunsmith is offer to pay for a faster turnaround on your firearm. When I first started, I adopted a policy that basically says every customer that comes in here, no matter how large, how small, how cheap, or how expensive the job is, they get the same level of service in my shop. Can I pay you for expedited service? No, you cannot. I work down the list in the order that the things are received. There are exceptions where I will start something and then I'll have to wait on a part. Everything always gets started in the order that they come in. The only time you'll get an expedited service is if I can do it while you wait, like changing a handguard on an AR-15 or doing something basic like a pistol sight installation, or If for some reason you don't know how to install a backup sight on a Picatinny rail, I can do that for you. It'll take 5 minutes, no problem. But for anything that needs to be checked in for work, there is no expedited service. No, you can't bribe me to run you up higher on the list. That's just the way it is. Number 5, what we like to call the bag of gun. Lately for me, it has been CVA inline muzzle loaders. The problem is, when you bring me a little coffee can of parts, because for some reason you thought it was a good idea to take your trigger assembly apart, I have a policy. If it comes in pieces, you have a mandatory charge of $80 for me to reassemble it, if I can reassemble it. Just don't expect your gunsmith to do some quick, cheap work reassembling your pistol or your rifle or whatever after you took it apart and couldn't figure out how it's reassembled. Number 6 way to annoy your gunsmith. Expect the work to be done right now. And it blows my mind how people can think this way, but I have had a couple of people here and there come in and ask me, hey, can you bump me up to the top of the list? No, I can't. Why? Because it's not fair to everybody else who came in before you. I cannot bump you ahead of the people who had better preparation and planning than you did, okay? It's October. We're about to be getting into rifle season here in Tennessee. If you've got a specific firearm in mind that you want to use for deer season or turkey season or whatever, take it out, I'd say at least 2 or 3 months before the season starts. Field test it, shoot it, clean it up, and maybe have your gunsmith do a yearly service on it just to make sure that it's in tip-top shape. Number 7, and this is a good one that will probably get your ass kicked out of the shop, okay? Don't try and tell your gunsmith how to do the job. Most of the guys in this business are a lot older than me, okay? I understand I look like a newbie. I was talking to a gunsmith here in town who just retired, and he told me he still learns things every single day, you know, and that's kind of always been my outlook on things. The day you don't learn something is the day you're dead. But at the same time, I can pretty dang well guarantee you that the gunsmith that you're going to knows more than you do. If you knew how to do the job better than the gunsmith, why are you taking the gun to him in the first place? Don't try and tell the guy how to do the job that you couldn't do. Okay. Number 8 way to annoy your gunsmith, WD-40. Okay. Now WD-40 has its application in our shop. I have used WD-40. I took an old barrel that had gotten dropped in the mud and basically took it to my local car wash and power washed the crap out of the thing, and then immediately sprayed the whole thing down with WD-40. Now, a lot of people will use WD-40 as a lubricant. It's not a lubricant. WD-40 is called WD-40 because WD stands for water displacement. WD-40 is really good at water displacement. Use it on, waterlogged guns. We'll use it on the machines when we're finished working with them. If we've run coolant or something like that, we'll spray them, soak them down with WD-40 because it repels the water. However, over the long term, this stuff turns almost into like a dried chewing gum consistency. Anytime somebody brings a firearm in, it's like shotguns, especially pump action shotguns, when you're racking it and it feels almost like you've got beeswax or something on the inside of it, it's probably this. So keep WD-40 away from your guns. Number 9, constant calls and visits. Anytime somebody comes into my shop, I try and give them a rough estimate of what it's going to cost and how much time it's going to take. If I tell you 3 weeks, don't call me that weekend to get the status of your firearm. I probably haven't even started it, okay? Because because I'm still working down the list of people who came in before you. And when I do start it, I'm not calling you to give you updates on every little tiny thing that I do. When your gunsmith gives you an expectation of how long it's going to take, don't call the guy every other day. Don't stop in his shop all the time and visit him, because look, I understand we have hours that we are open to the public, but at the same time, every time we stop to help somebody, we are not working. So every time you stop me by calling me or coming in and visit, you're taking time away from your own repairs, okay? So just think about that. If I tell you 3 weeks and you haven't heard from me in 3.5 weeks, call me. Maybe I finished it and I forgot to call you. That happens from time to time. It's normal. Everybody forgets things. So, but don't bug us all the time. Just don't. And number 10, going along with the same lines as the last one here. Once we have finished your gun and called you, don't make us wait for weeks or months before you come and pick it up. Especially if you're one of those people who's been bugging us every other day trying to get status updates. Occasionally, things happen. I understand. Circumstances can get out of our control. You can wind up in the hospital, whatever. That's fine. Okay, we understand. We're not going to hold it against you if you had to help somebody or take care of yourself or whatever. Very recently, I was working on a Smith Model 36 for a guy. He's a regular customer of mine, eccentric guy. Sometimes thinks he's a little bit entitled, but you know, I put him in his place. Was texting me almost every other day asking me if it was done. It was finally done at the end of August, and then, done at the end of July or something like that, because I went on vacation on August the 8th. Yeah, so I probably wrapped that up on like August the 3rd or August the 4th. And then finally, first week of October, he picks it up. So 2 months I had to wait on him to come and pay me for the work after he had called me all the time. So don't do that to your gunsmith. A lot of us either already do, or we're getting to the point where we have policies in place that say if your gun stays here past 14 days or 30 days or whatever, you will be charged a storage fee per day of X dollars. And if you leave it beyond X number of weeks or months, then we'll basically do what mechanics do if somebody leaves their car at the shop for too long. We can basically put a lien on your car, and essentially it belongs to us at that point. So anyway, guys, that has been 10 things that annoy the living crap out of your gunsmith. If there's something that you want to see, leave that down in the comments box below, or just drop a comment saying, hey, appreciated the video. These days, the more engagement we get on our videos, the higher they rank in the search algorithms, and the more likely we are to get more views. So hit the thumbs up, leave me a comment, and thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.